too. For those of you that are here, though, I think Jonny and I are going to be talking about what was just said, and then also obviously it's going to be a Tottenham-focused content, but because we have to talk about
that and Salah. That and Salah, obviously, Mo Salah leaving Liverpool. Is he one of the greatest to play in the Premier League? He's one of the greatest to ever play for Liverpool. Those sort of conversations. And obviously, as far as Spurs concerned, if Tudor does go, who will replace him? And really, will it make any difference with only 7 games left to play and very little time to even come in and change anything, really? But we'll get on to that. Guys, if you're in the chat, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe button. You know what you got to do. Really appreciate all your support. And if you're listening on audio, we'll put a link in there. If you just click on that and give us a follow on Spotify or on Apple. I just want to address one thing without mentioning any, going into mentioning names. But as far as I'm concerned, as a Spurs fan, me going down there on Sunday to support the team, right, does not make me a moron, does not make me a happy clapper. I've only become a moron and a happy clapper, according to some, because we lost. Okay? That narrative wouldn't even have come up had we won the game, right? I'm as much disappointed. In fact, I'm more disappointed that having gone down there and taken people who I know and family and everything have come down, for them to turn up and give that performance, right? So I should be more aggrieved than the people who didn't go, didn't turn up, didn't go to the game, and yet call me out to be a moron or to call anyone who went a bunch of sheep, right? It's your choice. You can do what you want, right? I chose to support the team and put aside my thoughts about the regime, which haven't changed. I can list 101 things I'm not happy about the club. But right now, this isn't about me. This isn't about this, that, and the other. What it's about for me, the most important thing for me is that my club, your club, if you support Spurs, don't get relegated today. And listening to Rory Jennings today or last night saying it will be the biggest thing in his life, the greatest pleasure in his whole life, on and off the pitch, if Chelsea managed to relegate Spurs. I mean, how sad is that, right? With all the things that go on in your life, right? That is, that is your perspective.
It's content though, right, Jonny? Like, this is the thing. I was sort of sitting there.
But he half mentions, I reckon he probably means it though.
But possibly, right? But like, part of the conversation I just had, was, about like why is it that certain people don't say this or do say that? Why don't they utilize?
I do both, Sean. I do both.
I don't know about you, but I'm just generally,
yeah.
Right? And I'm like, the world is the way the world is. Like people I find it cringy as well when I see, like, when I think Stell said, I remember when Dan Juma was signed on loan and people put out videos saying these are the 6 reasons why Dan Juma is going to transform Tottenham. Like, embarrassing. It's an embarrassing title of the video, but these things happen every day. Right? We saw. Stell mentioned this one content creator. I'm not going to embarrass him by aligning it to this, but there's people out there that say, the 5 reasons why Thomas Frank is going to revolutionize Tottenham, the 5 reasons why Igor Tudor is going to revolutionize Tottenham, then the 5 reasons why, when Sean Dyche was linked, why he's going to revolutionize Tottenham. Yesterday, or other times, the 5 reasons why a return for Ange is going to save Tottenham. And it's just like, you don't mean it. You're putting content out, and it's as shameless or as shameful or as just reality based as anybody else. The journalists that are supposedly the authentic people that are the trustworthy sources of information, who tell everybody that Tottenham are about to sign this guy or De Zerbi's close or whatever. It's all the game. We are all bottom feeders on information of things that we don't know is real or otherwise. Like, let's stop pretending like it isn't what it isn't. All it is people that are desperate for eyeballs and attention We're guilty of it. Every other one's guilty. Stell's guilty of it.
Sure, 100%.
Everybody in content does what they do. There's a reason why it's called clickbait. Like everything is about trying to get up eyeballs and attention. It doesn't mean that it's real.
Sean, I totally get that. That's not what I have a problem with. I've got no interest in this stream, the Spurs 5, or anything being an echo chamber. I've debated with everyone ever since Spaces on this. I don't want to be in a place where everyone agrees with everybody. That's bullshit. That's not even real life. What I'm saying is to call someone a moron for supporting your team and going out and supporting the team, I take exception to. Being called out for supporting my team as a moron, I go home in a fucking way, right? I'm not a moron, right? I just, I love my club. Like many others, one of the thousands of others that go up and down the country, we spend our money. And to call me that, or anyone that, who's standing in the street, a kid, right? I was there with some kids, 2 kids that come from America with their dad. To them, this was unbelievable to see that parade and everything else. The result was a disaster. We all know that. But no one needs, after the result, after the thing, you're all morons. You're all fucking idiots, right? You're all just a bunch of happy clappers. That's what I'm talking about. You can say you don't agree with it. I don't have a problem with that. But
they can say what they want, though, Johnny, can't they? They can say what they want, mate.
Yeah, no, they can say what they want, right? As long as it don't involve me.
Well, they can say what they want about you as well. That's the line in the sand, Johnny. You put your face above the parapet.
No,
you're on content. And it's something they want about me. No. I said, this the whole thing. The whole reason I had a stream with Stel.
I'm not going to not reply, is what I'm saying. And
that's what I'm saying. But he can say what he wants, and you're entitled to say what you want, right? He called you out. I think you said he called you out. I didn't notice it, but if he called you out and you've got a problem with it, you're also entitled to the right of reply. That's the game. We are all. You take the rough with the smooth. You take the bitter with the better.
Yeah, without getting personal. Did
he say something personal?
No. We know. Listen. We know, right? I'm not going into it here, right? Refuse to. But what I'm saying to you is that calling everyone who went. I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking. To call all of the fans morons, to attack the people who watch the shows, right? You can say you don't agree with it. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's entitled to say I don't agree with the protest, the demonstration, or what have you. But I don't see them saying that when I go to a protest and I'm stood at the protest and protesting against it. You can't have it both ways. Not say anything when I turn up for that and then have a go when I turn up for that. You can have both sides of the fence is what I'm saying. You can support the team, but not happy with the regime. You can have both sides of the coin. You don't have to be one side or the other, is what I'm saying. I'm both sides of the coin. I want to support my team because I don't want to go down. And also think the club and ENIC have screwed up royally over numerous years, over numerous things, especially this season. Getting rid of Daniel Levy without plan B was a catastrophic mistake. I said to you, right, early doors, right, he had his finger controlling absolutely everything. They thought they could whip him out and it would all be okay. And it wasn't. And they got 2 guys in who really don't have enough knowledge.
But Johnny, my point being, to be honest, like the 2 hours of that show just flew by. I wanted to challenge him on so many things that we ran out of time to challenge him on because we got stuck into historical analysis and things. Hopefully in part 2, I'll be able to, pick him up on some of the things that he said. And he'll pick me up on some of the things that I've said because we didn't really get into it because he didn't really come at me for supporting ENIC, for all the years that he said last night. And he said the things he said about me because I said things about him yesterday. That's the game, right? That's the game, right? We talk about the opinions of others. We talk about the opinions of our own. And, like I say, the time got away from us. We got stuck into too much of other things today. But for what it's worth, my point that I ever said about Stel before was you can't have strong opinions like what he has and then not expect there to be pushback from people and to assume, I think that the thing that I was hooked on today was he was saying that, Ricky and others that speak to these journalists that apparently have all of this influence, that they don't push back on the reason why they don't protest enough. But if we're giving the credibility to the social zeitgeist for having influence, then the fact that Martin Lipton said that he would throw rotten fruit or vegetables, whatever.
I mean, that's just like, I mean,
if he said that, I think
did say it. I heard it.
Okay,
I heard
okay,
it.
cool. Okay, so he said that, right? So to me, that will have been heard by I got no idea, 15,000 people on YouTube, and God knows how many other people would have heard it on podcasts. I don't know how many people watch his podcast, but his podcast bigger than his YouTube channel. So let's say, I don't know, from picking a number, 50,000 people will have heard Martin Lipton say, if the owners of the football club walked past me, I would have thrown vegetables, rotten fruit and veg at them. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, that is far more influential than Martin Lipton, who I wouldn't know if he walked past me in the street. I wouldn't know what he looks like. I wouldn't spot him.
Right for the sun, doesn't he?
Having 150 people at the protest or 151, one of whom is Martin Lipton, to me makes no difference.
100%.
But having Martin Lipton speak in front of what will be heard by 50,000 people conservatively, saying, "I'm Martin Lipton. I'm a big name. That's why people are listening to the show. I'd throw fruit and veg." That to me is more impactful than having his face that's probably unrecognizable to most people anyway in a crowd of 150 people. So I don't really get Stell's point. Like, if Stell's saying that the social place has influence, then give it the credit that it deserves. And Stell being on that, I reckon that show that I've just done will be heard by 10,000, will watched by 10,000 people, maybe a few. I don't have a big podcast platform, so like, to me, it's like, what? Like, do you want the opinion to be out there? If so, then Martin Lipton's opinion is out there, and that's a good thing. But I'm not really sure why he's criticizing it.
But you don't have to be look. Martin Lipton, what Martin Lipton's done is the whole thing he's been complaining that no one else does, right? I mean, he calls Ricky out all the time for not calling the owners out, when all I hear is Ricky calling the owners out, and Ricky turns up at demonstrations, right?
Yeah, he was there on Sunday. He was there on Sunday.
Yeah. Sure. So listen, everyone to their own. What I'm saying is, I personally think calling your own people in your own stream morons, right? Okay, for supporting the club and the fans and not putting it all aside to demonstrate against the owners, for me, is like, it's nonsensical.
And that's
fine.
You
can do both. You can do both.
But Stell thinks that the fan base that don't start to protest are what they are, right? That's what he says. That's him. That's fine. That's his opinion. Yeah. He's entitled to it. But with that, it's going to have consequences, right? There's going to be people that are going to go, I agree with Stell. Stell's right. There was a guy on Roy Viking, who's a regular on this show. Big up to you, Roy. Yeah. He put in a super chat saying, "I apologize to you, Stell. I used to call you toxic. I think you're right." Cool. So the pendulum has swung for Roy, right? Great.
Yeah. And nor did you say that if the club went down.
There's other people that are going to sit there and listen to Stell saying what he says and go, "You might be right, but I don't like the way you describe it." And Stell has to Stell has to wear that, you have to wear the consequences of what you say. The only thing you can control in this life is what you say and what you do. You can't control how people perceive what you've said and what you've done. That's it. That's outside of your control. So Stell and others, not just Stell, but anyone, myself included, yourself included, when we go on camera and we say our things, yesterday's show, right? I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. I thought it was all in good humor. Yeah. There was going to be some people that watched that and called us certain things.
Yeah.
You can only control what you do and what you say. You can't control how people receive that information. That's up to them. It is what it is.
I just think that, well, I'm not going to go there, but, it's okay unless he's perceived in a bad light, then we have to delete the stream. Yeah. Because of behavior. But when I'm not on and I'm not there to defend myself, stuff is brought up, right? Cheap shots, right? And, I just think I don't have a problem with anyone who's Enoch out, because I'm Enoch out. But I just think calling your own fan base names because they want to support the club, call them idiots for this, that, and the other. But, don't make up stories like telling people you were the one that wanted Tudor. Didn't even know Tudor was coming. Or you, Sean, said that if this club went down, they would be bankrupt. You never said that. We never said that.
No, I didn't say that. Yeah, I never said that.
No, we spoke about it on the show. We never said that. So it's, it's a play on words. Anyway, let's move on. What are we thinking out? Do we think that Igor Tudor is going to get the sack? Because we still haven't heard anything. We still haven't heard.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Surprised that there's been no noise in that regard. Although last night there was a hell of a lot of content that was coming out from these journalists. Again, the same journalists that we do or don't trust. The same people that we do or don't trust for their opinions on Tottenham. The same people that we do or don't trust for their transfer speculation. All of a sudden they're saying, oh, all of a sudden Roberto De Zerbi is more interested in the job than he was before. Hey, hey, they have phoned me again. I change my mind. I
not to come now. No.
And then also this other geezer, Adolf
Hutter.
Jawohl.
Where is everything's going?
Yeah, no. These guys,
you will win or you will be shot. But I mean, look, I think they are.
We will do a fitness test. The slowest 5 players will be hung.
I mean, honestly, are this board just grasping at straws, clutching at straws, Sean? Because I don't think I think their backs are so far up against the wall right now. I feel they're damned if they do. If they stick on Tudor, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, 1 point out of 15. And if they twist, who are they going to twist to?
Well, it looks like it's one of Hutter, De Zerbi, or Silva. Marco Silva's come up in the last 24 hours, Johnny. We don't speak about Marco Silva too much. My take on Silva is the same as my take on Iriola. Is the same as my take on a lot of these players that have managers that have done well at smaller clubs, which is, you might be able to break through the ceiling, that glass ceiling, like Pochettino did. You might be able to, or you might succumb to the Goldfish Bowl experience of being at a club where people notice when you don't succeed all of the time. And I think Thomas Frank succumbed to it. And I don't know if Marco Silva's the guy. For me, Marco Silva isn't the guy. Do I rate him as a manager? Sure. I think he's all right. I think he's good. I think he's done well at Fulham. Do I sit there and think he's the guy that's going to take Tottenham to the next level? I don't. No, don't think he is. But
Watford to Everton was a disaster. It didn't work out, right?
Mm-hmm. Then he went back to a hidden arrangement, essentially, where you can win 3 games and everyone says, "Oh, aren't Fulham doing well?" And then you can lose 3 games and no one pays attention. At Tottenham, you lose 3 games on the spin.
Well, now
at media room,
now, we can have a manager now that could win 3 and lose 3. Hey, hallelujah!
How many points? How many points would that be, Johnny? How many points would that be to win 3 and lose 3?
9! Bring in Hutter! Bring in Adolf! We need 9 points.
Das ist 9! 9 Tottenham! 9 points.
9 points. No, I just think right now we can't be messing around, Sean. We just cannot be messing around. If he's going to go, there's been a lot of talk as well about Chrissy Hughton. Now, Chrissy Hughton is Tottenham through and through. He's played at Spurs. He's been assistant manager at Spurs. He's still active, in football. He's been offered the Zimbabwe job. He's not there anymore, is he? Mugabe Ibagum. I'm not sure who's the leader now of Zimbabwe.
I haven't done that Sam Allardyce. I haven't looked at his accent yet, Johnny, so I don't know if he's the guy.
Big Sam is only available if you got a large brown bag full of cash.
Listen, all I need is to have some mashed potato and some a large glass of whiskey every morning with my breakfast. That's what I want, and I'll come in and do a good job. I'll keep.
Do you know what that sounds like? I used to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, half an hour before I went to bed, eat a handful of hot gravel. And when I got home, my dad would thrash us to sleep with a bread knife. Right?
Yeah.
Luxury.
Luxury.
I'm just going to say the other people. I mean, Chris Hughton. Would it be more feasible to have like a group of people, like a Sherwood, a Sherwood, a Houghton?
No. Nah.
You know who it's going to be, don't you?
Tim
you know
Sherwood, mate. What are we fucking doing here?
I know. No, I don't want Sherwood. Sherwood wants Sherwood. For me, I've got this terrible feeling that it's going to be Ryan Mason, mate. I do. I really do.
Then we're fucked, haven't we? Then we're done. It's game over.
Yeah. It's got to be. I think it's got to be a collab. The truth of the matter is, who's? I mean, what makes anyone think they're getting in Adolf Hitler is going to?
I genuinely cannot believe that Tottenham Hotspur are considering hiring a guy who's deliberately gone out of his way to rebrand himself Addy just because it's a little bit contentious. And as soon as we're linked with him, we're not giving him his nickname. No, we're going to be
call him Adolf. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Adolf? If you think old Tottenham's gone. Yeah, we're going to be singing that, mate.
Oh, no. That's going to be the new tune.
Yeah.
Forget about Georgie Graham's Blue and White Army.
Yeah. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Adolf? If you think old Tottenham's gone.
What a tune. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. You can see it. It's going to be. I'm going to be leading the chorus on that one. I just think it needs to be a collab. I don't think any one person, so if it was Harry, maybe Harry, Sherwood.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I work in a collaboration, absolutely no problem. As long as Jermaine is there. Yeah, I don't mind. It's not this Addy fella, though. I don't know him, and I think it's a little bit contentious for me. So probably not something I would subscribe to personally.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Well, listen, Jermaine. I saw Jermaine actually when I used to go to the under 21 games when he was doing his badges, working with the under 18s, and he's proper Spurs. He hasn't finished his badges, so he can't. It's limited to what he can do, but he can certainly be there as a motivation behind there. I think it needs to be a collab. So if it was Harry, all Harry needs to do is do the team talk, right? Motivation. You can have. Jermaine and whether it's Jermaine and someone like Ryan Mason or Sherwood or what have you in the team. I just do not see with this shit show the way it is anyone like Robbie Keane leaving the club, and I also can't see any way De Zerbi takes over at this stage. I just can't see it. Can we do a poll, Sean? We can't do a poll, can we? You can't put names in, can you?
Yeah.
Go on. Let's do it.
You want me to do it? Yeah. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
If I'm doing it again, is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, you have to show me how to do the
cheeky little git. Butler, pull it up. Yeah, you fucking pull it up, Johnny. What are we doing here?
You pull it up. You find it. You find it.
I'll do it in a second. I'll put the names in the chat. Yeah. I'll put the names in the hat.
We'll have to look for a poll. Here's a shock. Apparently, Tottenham striker Randall Colomwani is already thinking about his future and a return to Juventus. I can't believe that, Sean. You must be shocked at that news.
Absolutely surprising. That is, yeah. He's not
surprising.
He doesn't want to be a part of the Tottenham. Actually, you know what though? I got to be honest. I feel like I'm starved of quality performances to the point where I don't know what they look like anymore. But I actually think that when you go back to that Nottingham Forest game, why have I frozen? If you go back to the Nottingham Forest game, I think that he should have started, and I think that Xabi Simons should have started, and I think that and it should have been probably Richarlison, Solanke on the bench, and Matisse Tell on the left-hand side. And I think we might have had a little bit more about us than the way that we went about 100%.
It. Why did he put Richie? Richie's worst position is up front on the right-hand side. So where did he play him? Up front on the right-hand side. You either play him on the left or you play him through the middle, not through the right-hand side. I mean, it was just like madness. But people who don't know sort of tactics will probably slaughter him, probably. Absolutely fantastic. Yes.
Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm just trying to think though, Sean, really, whether or not it's just too late to do anything. I mean, there's no coaching staff there, really. There's no Cochrane, there's no Heitinger. I mean, how bad must it have been for Heitinger? Heitinger would have done a better job, in my opinion, than Igor Tudor. He couldn't have done worse. He's been there for a few weeks. He's got his feet under the desk. He's rated as a coach, and he would have had the time to actually adapt with the players. And as we heard from Liverpool, players seem to like him. He might have got more out of him. And he certainly wouldn't have been putting square pegs in round holes and playing Pedro Porro at centre-back and some of the other mad things that he did. But as much as I don't think Xavi Simons has been more like Barry Simons at times, I do think he should have started
who's Barry Simons?
Yeah, well, exactly. Barry Simons, Sunday League football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I just think for me, I'm worried it's too late, Sean. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I mean, I'm looking at the fixtures here. Sunderland away, Villa away, even Wolves away. I've been to Wolves. The last 2 meetings I've been to Wolves, we've been beaten in both of them. The only thing it's good for is a curry. Beautiful curry up there. Everton at home, going for the title. There's the
you don't think that I could do a good job then? Do you not think that I could do a good job there, Johnny? I mean, come on,
I think you could.
Fantastic fucking job. I've done a fantastic fucking job over in Hungary. Come on now, Johnny. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Well, listen. How are you doing at Ferencváros? Are you still eating the goulash?
Fucking top. I'm top, so I am. Get me into Tottenham, and I'm top Tottenham again. Not a problem.
Listen, I've not been funny, Robbie, but you look like you've been piling on the goulash since you've been out there.
Well, the goulash is fucking pretty tasty, so it is. Hey, we're doing it again. We're doing it again, so we are,
Oh, we are, to be sure. On my head, son. Hey, would you come over and work with Robbie, with Jermaine, and get the gang back together?
For sure, get Harry in. Bring in Harry. I'd work there. I don't know, though. I feel like I'd have my own decisions. I feel like I'm a good. I mean, I feel like I've done fucking well over in Hungary, so I have. I really, if I'm honest, I feel like I've done better than anybody else. So, for me, you want to give me the job, I'll take the job and I'll keep him up. And if we go down, I'll probably have a good chance of coming back up. But fuck it, I mean,
I think you're more likely to.
What do you want from me?
What do you want? You're not going to come unless they offer you a nice big 3-year contract and a relegation get-out clause, are you?
Fuck it, I'd come down as long as my wage doesn't drop when I go down to the championship, So if they pay me $5 million a year regardless, I'll fucking play in the championship or play in fucking the Conference League as long as I'm getting my money. That's how I feel about it, Johnny. How do you feel about it?
Well, listen, I'm quite happy for you to come. I'd love you to come. I'd love him to come. I'd love him to come. Have you got Adolf Hutter? Have you got
I'll get him.
Get old Adolf up.
Oh dear.
Pay him in Irish stout. Listen, I can't see Robbie coming as much as he'd be good to come. Not going to lie, Butler's showing range in the last few days here. Yeah, he's got range. He's got range. It does help though when you've got the actual face on.
Hey, it makes the accent. For sure, it makes the accent. Like, we just go with a tenor and fucking Irish accent, so we will, And it's not a problem. It's not a problem because it all.
I mean, if he put Jan Diamande up and he just went
Jan Diamande.
If he just spoke like that.
What is this? I want to play for Tottenham. I don't want to play for Tottenham.
What is your bank account number?
There's a fly in your bank account. What is your bank account?
What is your bank account number?
Listen, mate, I don't know what we do. Let's do some super chilly chit chats. Let's do some super chilly chit. Big up to Chudini. We appreciate you. Choo to you, my man. Big up to you, mate. Choo to you.
I can't hear it. Weird.
Can't hear it again. Big up to you, mate. Appreciate Choo, love you, man. Thanks so much for your support. Paul Petty is also coming. Big up to you, Paulie boy. Super sticker as well.
Super swastika. Now, remember.
Well, you're very welcome. Your super swastikas are welcome here.
Yeah. Many super swastikas, more swastikas, more super swastikas, and we can buy more Messerschmitts.
Yeah. Do you reckon that was the that choo choo to you was the noise of when they were getting shipped off to a certain camp? Where are we going? Hey, yeah, you're going to go for a work on a camp.
No, don't go there.
No, don't do that. Big up to you, Paul. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much. And Spurs OC, our boy from Orange County, US of A. Big up to you, mate. He says, we can't hire someone called Adolf, for fuck's sake. It's true. We can't, can we?
We can't. Surely someone at the club is saying, you know, singing, who do you think you're kidding, Mr. Vinay? Yeah. I mean, really, seriously, you can't, you just can't. You just can't. I just know where they'll end up keeping Tudor now.
Well, there's no noise yet. There's no. Well, but listen, you have to probably know where you're going to go before you make the decision, right?
But don't you think they would have made, look, after Arsenal, after all the terrible defeats that we've had, how many times have the fan base complained over the last 7 games that maybe it's time for him to go before the Liverpool game? Majority of fans thought he should have gone before the Liverpool game. So one would assume that the board or Vinay or Johan had sounded out other people just in case. I mean, are we to assume now that there's nothing left now? There's nothing left. They you know, have they been rejected by everybody?
No.
I mean, all we're hearing is
the noise, Johnny, is that Roberto De Zerbi is suddenly more interested in taking the permanent job now because he knows that Adi Hütter is Hütter. Adi Hütter.
Yeah.
Because he's suddenly interested, and because Marco Silva's in the apparently, don't know, allegedly, Roberto De Zerbi, who has been saying, hey, they keep phoning me. I keep saying a no. I keep saying. Apparently now he's saying, "Oh, you phoning somebody else, and I still want to play you. You call me one more time."
He's got FOMO. 100%. He's got FOMO at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. But listen, how long would it be before De Zerbi is holding Vinay or Johan Lang over a desk?
He can't hold them over the desk before the summer transfer window, so it'll be at least until September.
Yeah.
You know,
this the club.
Right now, he's coming in knowing what he's working with, knowing what he's got, knowing the state of the injuries, knowing the state of the fan base. If he comes in, thinks he can take the job and keep us up, roll the dice, mate. Roll the dice. Roll the fucking dice.
Let's talk about it. This is a guy who signed an alleged Mason Greenwood. Yeah. What would happen if he signed up and he said, "I'll sign, but I'd like you to sign Mason Greenwood"?
What would happen? There would be the element of the fan base that would say, "Don't care, he's a cracking player, bring him in." There'd be an element of the fan base that would say, "We're not stooping to that level of lowness."
And the press?
Oh, the press would do what the press do, which
they'd have a field day, wouldn't they?
Have a field day. But you know what? It would be a decent distraction from the on-the-field struggles.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing: he's a bloody good player.
He's one of the best wingers, one of the best right wingers in Europe, 100%.
Yeah, I think he would be in the England squad right now. Personally, left foot, right foot.
Yeah, sure.
He's a fantastic finisher. It's only.
Would you take him? Would you take Mason Greenwood, or would you have a personal problem with it? Be honest.
No,
be entirely honest here. Don't say this because you want to come across a certain way.
No.
100% honesty. Would you take Mason Greenwood on the right wing right now?
I would take him from the point of view that his alleged person who alleged what they have alleged is still with him, and they've had another child. They're still together. Had that not been the case and she pressed the charges, not a chance in hell, right? But the fact that she's still with him, the fact that they've had another child and they're still together, I don't know the full ins and outs of. We saw the video, and the video was absolutely damning. His behaviour was a disgrace. You know, unforgivable. But
not a video.
When you're
you heard the audio.
Correct.
The audio was damning. It was damning.
Yeah, it was damning. But he was 18 years of age, right? He's still with her. They've had another child, and you know, are we to say
is that okay? Because
can no one ever be forgiven?
No, for sure. Every sinner has a past, every saint has a future, right? That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
So
I'd listen, it's a dubious one. It's a tightrope, that one. What I would say to you was had she not pulled it, and had he been prosecuted and gone to jail, whatever, and not been with him, not a chance would I have him at the club. The fact that he was 18 years of age, let me
ask this, right? Because I know it's a difficult one. If you are someone that has a problem with Mason Greenwood being at the football club because of what he's done, would you still have a problem? Why don't you have a problem with having an owner who has done the things that they've done? Like, I don't talk about this, like Joe Lewis, right? But you look at Joe Lewis, the allegations of what he did to the native people of Patagonia. If you speak to a Patagonian or an Argentinian, whatever in that area,
they hate him.
They'll tell you what he did and what his people did was atrocious. Or, for example, if you're a Newcastle United fan, and then you were linked with Mason Greenwood, and then you were saying can't have Mason Greenwood at our football club because I heard what was on the audio.
Yeah,
but you're okay with having the PIF fund, right? Who do their thing, right?
What about the journalist in Turkey? Yeah,
exactly, right. Khashoggi, or you're a Manchester United fan that was pissed off with the fact that you didn't get Qatar, the Sheikh from Qatar, to come in, but you were also determined to see Mason Greenwood leave the club because of the allegations at the time. Yeah, like, we're all hypocrites, aren't we? We're all hypocrites.
Well, that definitely.
We all bury our head under the carpet. We all bury our head in the sand on certain things.
When it suits them.
Yeah, but I think we all are. We all are in life. We are all like we all use an Apple iPhone, right? We all use an Apple iPhone because most of us do. But we all probably know at the back of our minds that there's somebody out there in the world that's having a fucking horrible existence, so that we can have the Apple iPhone at $800 or 800 quid rather than something, some other price point. We all you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, if the guy had been 30 years of age or 25 and he's beaten his girlfriend senseless, right? Not a chance. I just think, I'm not saying I beat my girlfriend at 18 because I didn't, but at 18, when I think of the stupid shit that I did at 18 years of age, where you're all this money's thrown at you, you're being all this adulation, you got to handle it. He handled that terrible, but he's had counselling, he said it, and he's still with her. I'm just, I think there's a point where.
Yeah, look, another great example, right? What was the guy's name? What was the guy's name who kicked the cat?
It's the West Ham. What's his name?
He had a name that sounded with the ooh. It was an ooh sound. Was it?
I've forgotten his name now. I had it on the tip of my tongue. He didn't even. He tried to get it in the waste paper bin. Zuma. Yeah, he tried to get him into the waste paper bin, but he never made it. But I
was curious finished because of the cat incident. But he played for West Ham for years after that, and the West Ham fans, whenever the opposition would boo him, they would scream zoo. They would go zoo to like drown out the boos. So, like, what's his career finished? He played for years at West Ham after that, Anyway, I'm just saying, like, we all cherry pick and we all pick and choose when we're offended.
But could you imagine?
We also close our eyes and put our fingers in our ears when it comes to things we're okay with. We are all guilty of facilitating certain things in this world.
So, just in the chat, just ask for just out of curiosity, if it was to be De Zerbi, and he said, "I want to sign Mason Greenwood," would you be in favour, yes or no? That's just be interested to see what people think of that one. I mean, he would be a massive asset for us going forward. So yes, there's a few yeses. No.
And don't let the fact that I'm here affect your opinion. Hey, it's me. It's me. This chat. They don't like Roberto. They don't like me, or maybe they do. Let me see the reaction. But don't let the fact that I'm here affect your opinion. I strangle you anyway. That's what we do. That's what I do. I'm a deserve.
Because, listen, will you bring in Mason Greenwood, Roberto? Would you bring him in?
He's my player. I like Mason. I don't worry about what he did. He didn't do it to me. I don't mind. Everything okay. He scored some goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's still together and they have another child. They loved him in Spain. They love him in Marseille. He's had his head down. No incidents of him playing up or causing any trouble. And he's been doing well out there. But listen, I appreciate that he's not for everybody, and I can understand why. But as Samsung says, Greenwood is a baller. Samsung, were you disappointed he was hounded out of United? Interesting to see. Could you imagine if United took him back? I mean, for me, he's an absolute top player that you could pick up for a reasonable amount of money, Sean.
I don't think he'll come back to the Premier League.
No, I don't. It's whether or not. Could you imagine the abuse every football game?
Yes, that's what I said before.
The problem,
I think if he'd be, he'd have to be an incredibly strong. He's easier life for him if he just stays in France or goes to one of the better teams in Spain or Italy. No one's going to give a shit over there.
Do you think that's why none of the big clubs have gone near him?
Possibly. But look, I mean, there's a player. Who was the guy?
What about the manager?
There was two brothers. There was two brothers that played for France. I think they're twin brothers. I forget the name. They're a bit old now. One of them went to Saudi Arabia in the end. They were a left back, and he broke his leg in the Champions League that called him out of the what was the French what were the brothers' names, boys, in the chat? Let me know. Theo Hernandez,
yes.
Theo Hernandez, and the other one, I forget the brother's name. One of those guys who played for PSG, they also were convicted of I forget what it was. I think it was hitting his wife or something. Alleged. I'm not going to say allegedly because I think it happened, but. Lucas Hernandez was the other one. Yeah, Lucas Hernandez. Big up to the chat. Always know. Lucas Hernandez was jailed, I think, or at least convicted of abuse. So,
I'm just trying to think now. I'm just trying to think of who was the manager that Spurs were linked with, the Italian Rene Gattuso, right?
Yeah, it was another nutcase.
Right. So he was linked with Spurs and there was all in social media. We don't want him. He's a wife beater. Right. Was that not it? Yeah. And so I'm sure that's what it was, allegedly. Right. And there was a massive campaign and all the links to Rene Gattuso disappeared very quickly and the club moved away. Can't say it was a bad decision, but so these things, the club are influenced by certain things.
Of course.
Let's hope they are still influenced by the fact of not being linked with Adolf Hitler, because that would just be
just because his name is simple. It's nothing to do with that.
No. But listen, what was he at Monaco? At Monaco, do we think that record?
We can't listen. If they think that Adi Hutter is the right guy for the job, if they think he's the right guy, I don't know if he is or he isn't, but if they think he is, surely you can't be punished for having a name that sounds a little bit like a bad guy.
No, of course you can't.
What are we doing here?
Because his name is Herman Goering does not mean he can't manage the club.
Yeah.
Listen, look, he didn't do badly at Monaco. But second place, third place finish, attractive, pressing football. But it ended badly. Let's be honest, most managers only last 2 years, don't they, Sean? Wherever you are, however good you are. So, I'm not sure. Sean Dyche is a definite no for me. What about you?
Yeah, I don't.
He's up there in the betting, mate. I think he's third favourite.
No.
He's third favourite. Have you got the betting up? Let's have a look. Have you got the betting?
You can get it up, Johnny.
I can't, mate. I can't.
Why can't you get it up, mate? You don't know how to do it? You don't know how to
No, I do. I do. It just won't go into the on the Safari. It won't go in on the
Safari. You lazy little
No, I'm not. I'm not, mate. I'm not. Mate, I'm not lazy, mate. I do it all now. You know that. Come on.
Next manager Tottenham odds. Fucking listen, chat. I want you to pay attention, right? I want you to pay attention every time Johnny,
I'll set up the stream. Thumbnails
I've taught Johnny out. I've taught Johnny everything. He doesn't know how to fucking look something up and then press share stream on.
No, I know. Chat. Listen, I look.
He's a lazy little git. He's a lazy little git.
Half the info comes from, guys.
A lazy little git. Lazy
Don't
little
listen
fucking
to any of it. Don't listen to any of it. You need a pocket what?
Here we go.
Here we go. Right.
2-1 on is Roberto De Zerbi.
Jesus Christ.
Adi Hutter 4-1. Sean Dyche 8-1. Mason 8-1. Poch 10-1. Keane 10-1.
Yeah, he's pushed right out as Sean Dyche. He was much shorter last night. Much shorter odds. Is that with everybody, or is that average?
This is only on Bet Victor though, right? Only on Bet Victor. You can't even get a market anywhere else.
No one else is giving a market.
On Betfair, you can get a market where you can get 2-1. So what you could actually do here, if you wanted to, you could go to Betfair and you could lay him at 2-1 at the bookmaker, and then go and back him at 2-1 odds on, and then whatever happens, you'll capture the difference. How about that? Little free money for you guys.
Yeah, you could do that.
Go and lay him at 2-1 on Betfair, and go and back him for the same for the equivalent money on Roberto. And then whatever happens, whether he is or he isn't, you're going to end up making at least 1.5 times your money. There you go.
What price is Adolf? What price is Adolf with Betfair? I can't see that. Is that
59 to 5? Which that's the equivalent of
6-1, nearly, isn't it?
No, it's like over 10-1. Over 10-1. So you could do exactly the same thing. I don't know what the size of the market is, but you could lay him on Betfair and back him on Big Bet Victor. There's some money to be made, people. There's some.
No, look at their price on Sean Dyche though.
On Sean Dyche, yeah, you can't do that. On Sean Dyche, it's 14 to 5, so you can't.
For them, Sean Dyche is the favourite. Well, one of the favourites.
Yeah, as is
second favourite. Yeah, the truth of the matter is, none of them know. Is the truth.
Listen, I'm going to go and spend the rest of the day. I'm going to go and spend the rest of the day doing some arbitrage trading on Tottenham Hotspur and lock in some money. There you go. That's what I'm doing today. What are you doing today, Johnny?
Packing, mate. Packing.
Oh, packing. Yeah.
Packing.
Nice.
Yeah, packing. My Japanese phrase. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Hi.
You've been figuring it out. Have you been learning?
Yeah, I've been learning. I've been learning a few choice words.
Let's talk a little bit about Salah.
Mo Salah.
What do you want to talk about Mo Salah? What's going on with Mo Salah?
Listen, I mean, look, he's announced that he's leaving at the end of the year. Worst kept secret, probably in football. But as a player, whatever you think of him, I mean, I think Liverpool made a huge mistake signing him on this season. I'm not sure. Do you think they're going to get much for him? I mean, they've signed him on a season, signed him on a contract, probably paying him something ridiculous like 400 grand a week plus signing on fee. He's produced absolutely nothing this season, and he's going to be sold on. Will they recoup that fee back for what they spent this season to Saudi? I don't think Saudi are any mugs. What would they possibly offer him? 20 million?
Have Liverpool, you know the way everyone sits there and says Tottenham Hotspur have got no, like, compared to all the other big five, big six, whatever, Tottenham are just a shambles, right? There's no succession plan for Harry Kane. There was no succession plan for Sonny. And I hear all that and I agree with all that. But then they point to every other club in the top 5 and say that would never happen if you were at Liverpool. Have Liverpool had a succession plan for Mo Salah? Because he has dropped off a cliff this season quicker than Sonny dropped off a cliff last season at Tottenham.
No, I don't think
Where's the succession plan for Salah?
I don't think they have had a succession plan. I mentioned the fact that they are seriously interested in Michael Olise, who for me is just a phenomenal player. But I can't.
Yeah, but Salah's going to leave on a free transfer, and Olise is going to cost 100 million quid.
Yeah, but is he leaving on a free?
Apparently, mutual consent is what I've heard. But
why would you do that? Why would you pay him?
Because you don't want to because you don't have to pay the 450 grand a week because you know you've got a fucking damp squib of a player, right? Let him go.
Saudi have got a bargain, right? So not only did he get the 400 grand a week, right, and probably a signing on bonus, so he didn't leave for nothing. He's now going to go out to Saudi and get a mega deal on top of that, and Liverpool will get nothing. They should at least be getting a fee back.
Is he 33?
33.
Yeah, you could make the argument then that Daniel Levy did better by getting 25 million quid for Sonny, right? Without paying him the 400 grand. I don't know. My point is, though, is that if he does leave on a free transfer, there has been no succession plan. And the succession plan that Liverpool are going to invoke is to go and spend 150 million quid on Michael Olise, something like that. Maybe Yan Diamandi, whatever, right? But something like that. And Liverpool have already spent about 300 million quid on their forward line in the last 12 months. Are they actually going to go and drop another 100? Especially if Liverpool fall out of the Champions League, mate. If Liverpool fall out of the Champions League this season, if they finish 6th or lower, which I think is entirely possible, then can they really justify having to spend another 150, getting nothing on Salah, spending 150 on a Michael Olise when they've already bought all those players, Ekitike and
they need centre backs.
Exactly, and they need centre backs, and they need a DM.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know where they're getting their money from. Looks like he's going to end his career as the 3rd highest Liverpool goal scorer in the Premier League. Though I mean, it's unbelievable. 191 goals in 323 games, 191 goals, 93 assists. I can't seem to agree on that, but the record amount of goal involvements in the Premier League history, 281 goal involvements in the Premier League in 323 games, Sean. Yeah. I mean, that is...
He's been a phenomenal player, but like Harry Kane was a phenomenal player for Tottenham. Sonny was a phenomenal player for Tottenham.
But he won stuff. He has won stuff, hasn't he?
Oh, no, but congratulations, right? Amazing. Yeah. That was then. What's next? Have Liverpool get put in this basket, right? Like they're amazing owners. They've never like cooked the books. They've never done what Chelsea did. They didn't cheat like Chelsea allegedly or Man City allegedly. They didn't have, the obscene revenue streams that Manchester United have had because of their stadium and their brand and all that stuff. So Liverpool are always the bastion of perfection when it comes to ownership. They are always the name that everyone goes to. They're the team that have always got it right. Have Liverpool got it right? Have Liverpool's ownership got it right in the last 24 months? And to me, Johnny, I'm not just saying this because they look a shit show compared to where they were last season, but losing Jurgen Klopp was the glue, that he was the statesman of that football club. Someone else comes in, Arne Slot comes in, inherits that squad, doesn't need anything. He just brings in the Chiesa fella, who was injured for most of the season. They do okay. They win the league. Then they go through the big transformation, fall off a cliff. Questions are being asked. And the big money move, Mo Salah, they fucked that one royally. They should have sold him last year or the year before. They should have sold him at peak. They have history.
Keep going, Sean. Keep going.
They have history of knowing when to sell. They sold Coutinho at the right time. They sold Coutinho at the right time. And basically their entire Jurgen Klopp success was built around how well that particular decision was. Sold him for 150. Go and buy Alisson. Go and buy Virgil van Disney. Cemented their backline for the next decade. But Liverpool have fucked up massively with regards Mo Salah. He's about to leave on a free, and they can't genuinely, in my opinion, afford it, especially if they miss out on Champions League revenue. I don't know if they're going to be able to afford to drop another £150 million to find an actual replacement. Their succession planning for Mo Salah has been abysmal.
I can't disagree.
It's inarguable that it's been abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we said right at the beginning of the season, they've dropped the ball. They spent all this money on attack and they've neglected the defence, and they will pay for it. Sean and I, right from the start of the season, said Liverpool will not be involved in the game. Just didn't think they had enough there. It was so unbalanced. And now it's going to be even more unbalanced. But let's be honest, you know, Alexander Isak hasn't been great. Florian Wirtz, great talent, but he hasn't hit the ground running. Kirkes is just getting a little bit better now. Frimpong has not delivered. You know, so, and, you know, they brought in Jeremy Jacquet. I mean, how many, he's coming in the summer, Jeremy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jeremy Jacquet. Yeah. But, yeah, so all in all, it has not been a success for Liverpool. But this guy, I mean, 435 appearances in all competitions, 255 goals, 119 assists, only behind Ian Rush and Roger Hunt. Multiple 30-goal seasons. His debut, Sean, his debut season after he came was 44 goals in one season. 4 Premier League Golden Boots, most goal involvements for one club in Premier League history. I mean, it goes on and on. I always thought that it was interesting that the great Jose Mourinho, not only did he get rid of Kevin De Bruyne from Chelsea, he also got rid of Mo Salah. Do you reckon that is one of his biggest regrets? Letting those two players go. Could you imagine a Chelsea team with Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah in? I know they were younger, but
yeah, yeah, of course. But like you make the same argument at Manchester City, right? Like Manchester City have let go a team. If you were to put together a squad, or you could easily put together.
Yeah, but those were the two best players they had. I hear what you're saying, and I'm
just saying that you shouldn't necessarily worry about what players might become at 18, 19 if they don't work out for you. I mean, how many players have left RB Leipzig, have left whatever, they've gone to become world class players, right? Like, it's irrelevant. It is what it is. But in terms of like how you manage the players that you have, and the best players, when to sell them is a part of the thing, right? So Tottenham have decided that it's now time to sell players at the peak. We were prepped in January, and we've been prepped since by Vinay for what's coming in the summer. We are selling Romero if someone comes in for him. And by 100%. The way, Atletico Madrid today have come out, or at least the articles are out saying that there's no guarantee that Atletico Madrid are even interested in Romero anymore. And you know what? You could make an argument as to, I understand why. If you actually zone in and look at Romero's defending, for example, the second goal against Forest, he ain't that great. And Mickey van der Ven, I've been making the argument for a long time. I know you to some degree concur with me, mate. But he's
especially in the air, mate.
He's a fantastic defender for a certain style of football. But you ask him to play low box stuff, and he's actually bang average. So if you can convince someone to give us 90 million quid for Mickey van der Ven, bite your fucking hand off, because we're not the sort of team that can play to his strengths. He might go on to be a world-class player for a team that can, but we've got a square peg for a round hole in Mickey van der Ven. And with Romero, I think he's also overrated. You go and sell those two, and I'm okay if Tottenham do it as long as they know who the replacements are. And with the replacement money, if you stay up, you go and get a Senesi, you go and get a Van Heck, you go and get a Murillo, you go and whatever.
I hear you, Sean, but this is where this club has failed drastically. Again and again and again. Sold Kane, not replaced. Sold Son, not replaced. Sold Bale, not replaced. You know, we've got a history of not replacing. And when I look at the other side of North London, not only are they not selling, they're replacing. And they're replacing very good players with even better players. So when they come to the summer, they sell Martinelli, they sell Trossard, they bring in £100 million from selling a couple of players, and they use that money to go and buy Julian Alvarez. Whereas, you know, we don't have quality. we got a mishmash and unbalanced
as long as they win something this year. Let me ask you a quick question. We're almost at the hour mark, but let me ask you a quick question, Johnny. So Arsenal have had they got 4 potential trophies to win this season. They've already bottled one. Now, if they get what's the next trophy that will be up for grabs. So the Champions League is after the Premier League season finishes. I think the FA Cup is also the week after. Is that right?
It used to be. It used to be, I think
the FA Cup and then the Champions League, right? So Premier League will conclude. If two scenarios here. If Arsenal choke as a consequence of what happened on last weekend, and then they lose, who have Arsenal got next in the Premier League? Let's have a look.
They're very conveniently, Arsenal pulled out their entire defence.
Yeah,
Timber,
I know. I hear you.
Gabriel and Saliba are all mysteriously injured.
So Arsenal have got Bournemouth next, right?
Yeah, away or home? No, at home, isn't it?
It's at home, yeah. But Bournemouth are a team that that will challenge you, depending on what they you don't know, right? So if Bournemouth,
they're chasing Europe,
yeah, for sure, they're motivated. We don't know how Arsenal are going to react because there's a lot of pressure on them to score to do the quad. They can't do the quad now. The treble's on. We don't know about the FA Cup and the Champions.
Yeah, well, they got Southampton. That's
sure,
yeah.
But
if they lost to
Bournemouth, and they lose to Manchester City before they get to the next the final two, if they choke in the Premier League, I don't think they will choke. But if they if they do choke, do you have any safety in your mind that they have the strength of willpower to get past a final in the FA Cup that will probably be against a team? Who are the teams left in the FA Cup? The obvious candidates.
I mean, they've had a very hard draw in this FA Cup. They've had Mansfield, Portsmouth, and Southampton.
No, I know. Forget all that. That's in the past, right? So who's left? Who's left in the FA Cup? Let's have a look. I've got the thing up here. So you've still got Man City or Liverpool. You've got Chelsea or Port Vale. You've got Southampton or Arsenal, and you've got West Ham, Leeds. So let's assume that the final will either be Arsenal versus one of City, Liverpool, or Chelsea. Let's just make that assumption.
Yeah.
If it's Man City or Liverpool in the final against Arsenal, do you think that they will win it if they have choked in the Carabao Cup and in the league?
No.
So if they choke in the league, you would say probably what, that they'll choke in all 4?
I think they'll make the final of the Champions League. It depends how much is taken out of them, but I think they'll make the final of the Champions League because I don't think defensively Barcelona are great. They're fantastic going forward, but defensively, I think they'll be exposed. And yeah, I think they'll make the final and get beat in the final. I think they'll win the league. As much as it pains me to say, I think Arsenal will win the league.
So if you had to bet right now,
League.
you had to bet right now, how many trophies did Arsenal pick up this season?
One.
Just one, yeah? Yeah. And at this stage, would that be a successful season for Arsenal right now? Would that be? Or actually, well, if you were to go back 5 days, if you were to go back to before last weekend, if Arsenal fans were to be offered one trophy, one Premier League, and that's it, would they consider that a successful season at that stage where they're in every competition?
I don't know. I think, wasn't it the year 77 when Spurs went down that Arsenal won the title?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We don't want history repeating itself, but
no, forget about Tottenham. Their season doesn't depend on Tottenham going up or down. Like,
no,
that's a little cherry on top for them. But
it'd be a cherry on the top.
If you're an Arsenal fan last week and you were actually having debates with yourselves around whether Arsenal can win the quad, if they only end up with the Premier League, is that considered a relatively successful season or not?
Yeah, well, yes, because winning the league is a successful season. Being competitive in everything is success, isn't it? I think. If
you're an Arsenal fan who thinks, we got the chance for a quad here, and you end up with one, yes, it's still not failure, but is it a disappointing finish to the season? It's probably a better way of saying it. Is it a disappointing finish to the season?
Yeah, I suppose Look, it depends if your glass is half empty or half full. If Spurs went on to win the league, but lost, in the cup final, what's that? No one's going to be. I'm not going to be complaining about any of it. I'll be honest with you.
Here's an interesting one. Sam, big up to you, Sam. Are you lot cheering for Arsenal to beat West Ham? I am 100%.
Yeah, because I don't want to go down. That's going to be another bone of contention. What true Spurs fan would want them to be? I think the game that's worrying me, if I'm brutally honest, if it ever gets that far, is the final game with West Ham playing Leeds. Leeds are struggling for goals right now. Whether or not they can be sucked in, I'm not even convinced Spurs could beat Leeds at home. I'll be honest with you. But yes, we'd have to ask for Arsenal to beat West Ham. It's at West Ham, I believe, isn't it? I think
so. I think so, mate. Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you're in the chat, please can you hit the like and hit the subscribe button, guys? I know loads of you watch the show, but not all of you hit the sub button. We're trying to grow the channel up to 7,000 now. Really appreciate all your support, but just hit the button. Doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to us. Helps us grow, as I said. And if you're listening on audio, there's links in the chat, stream elements, which take you straight to the links for Apple or Spotify audio. So you can wake up in the morning and hear the dulcet tones of Sean Butler doing his Adolf Hitler.
What is this?
What is this? What is this? Also, guys, tomorrow we need to do the recap on the points from the weekend. Score predictions.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
Thanks
everybody. Appreciate everyone. Don't forget,
tomorrow.
OK Jersey, 8% off at checkout using code FINK. And we'll see you later on. Appreciate them for the subscribe. Like, subscribe, and comment. Smash all of the love in the on the stream elements. Hyungmin, Sean, and this club won. You're saying that so much, I'm starting to wonder whether you're on my side or you're trying to get me cancelled. I don't care either way. We keep going until we're cancelled. That's what we do. Love it. Like everybody, smash like, subscribe, share, notification bell button should be squeezed, and hype the video. And there's one last super chat we didn't get to. Big up to Miguel Lopez. Big up to you, Miguel. Appreciate the membership, mate.
Where are you from, Miguel? Miguel. Croydon? Miguel, if you're still here, let us know in the chat, or drop a chat in the chat after the comments after the show, and let us know where you're from, Miguel. Guys, thanks very much. Couldn't do it without you.
Love you all. Take care. As always. Bye.
Bye.